what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to another infographic show video, and this is this is a topic that I've not really got into before. I don't know, to do with the FBI or the CIA. And I know about them both, but when I actually come to think of it, I've never really known the difference. I just sort of assumed they were the same thing, but maybe like one's a different level. Or is the CIA or the FBI, do one of them sort of work around the US and do one of them sort of spy other countries and see like things going? I don't really know. Maybe they just do overseas sort of laws. I don't know. I don't really know. But this is what this video is going to be for. And I just got my blood test today. I wasn't scared. Not at all. The nurse would definitely not say that. But I'm just so happy that I'm not gonna lie. That blood test was sitting with me for a few days. But then on the day I wasn't actually that scared. I say that, again, the nurse would beg to differ, but I've done quite well. So, I'm happy that's done. Hopefully we can see the results of that and see what's up. But, yeah, shout out to my Instagram, my Twitter, linked in the description for those interested in following. Same for my Patreon, links all there for those interested. But let's just jump into this one, man. I've got such a dead arm though, so I'm going to try and not move my left hand a lot in this video.
You may not know the ins and outs of these two American agencies, but there is little doubt you haven't spent a significant amount of time enthralled by their actions, whether that is through the news media, documentary film, or regular old Hollywood films.
Well,
both are
because obviously like TV series, there's a lot of TV series based around crime and sort of like detectives. Is there a specific thing, like are the FBI sort of seen to be in like films a lot more, or the CIA seen to be in films a lot more? I feel like the CIA is probably a bit more secretive. I don't know, but that's sort of my assumption. I don't know, there's the police force as well. There's so much, there's probably more as well. What else is there? There's obviously, you've got like the army and different sort of levels to that. Yeah, man, what with the I don't know. I don't actually know.
To some extent, shrouded in mystery. Both can be blamed for duplicity at times, bearing the scars of numerous scandals, and they are still currently the target of conspiracy theorists. Whatever your view, this duo are both catalysts of excitement, intrigue, and apprehension. While we can't promise you the often secret workings of the agencies, we can provide you with a few minutes of fascinating facts. In this episode of the Infographic Show, FBI versus...
Whose badge do you prefer? If you're going to say the FBI or CIA one, whose would you say you prefer? I don't really know. I like the words fidelity, bravery, integrity on the FBI one, but again, I guess people would make their own mind on that. But and the eagle on the CIA one. I don't know, what one do you prefer? I'm probably going to say the FBI one, to be honest.
CIA. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of our notification squad. We will start with an abridged history of both agencies. The FBI, or the Federal Bureau of Investigation, was the brainchild of Attorney General Charles Bonaparte. In 1908, he and President Theodore Roosevelt agreed that the Justice Department needed a corps of special agents. At the time, it had no name, and it said that the two men were not sure how to recruit agents. According to the FBI website, Bonaparte jokingly told the president they should have men shoot at each other and whoever survives gets the job. The Bureau of Investigation was created soon after, and 34 people were hired at first to work as special agents across all of America's state borders. In 1935, it officially became known as the FBI, and prohibition became its raison d'etre. As you all know, this meant investigating mobsters we still see on the big screen today, and from 1924 to 1972, the controversial crime-busting icon known as J. Edgar Hoover was the director. Mobsters weren't Hoover's only concern, and much of the FBI's resources were spent on investigating political radicals during the Great Depression, which later included diminishing the impact of Americans with communist sympathies.
So it was actually the FBI, the FBI who go abroad and see things going on then. But did I guess the CIA? Maybe it's the CIA as well. I don't know. I'm not even going to say anything because I'm just sort of asking questions that I'm sure will be answered.
FBI's historical cases are of course too many in number to list, but some famous investigations include the stick-up robbing sweethearts Bonnie and Clyde, the white-collar crimes of the company Enron, the JFK assassination, the murder of 3 civil rights workers in Mississippi, Watergate, and of course 9/11. The FBI currently has its headquarters in Washington, D.C., and there are 56 field offices in major U.S. cities, as well as more than 350 smaller offices around the country. It also has about 60 offices in other countries. It employs about 35,000 people in all, which as well as special agents include scientists, intelligence analysts, language specialists, and those with a considerable IT acumen. Contrary to popular belief, The FBI does not just shoo the police aside during big investigations because it has no right to. State and local officers work with the FBI. The Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA, was an intelligence agency focused on national security and not domestic crimes, though the twain can sometimes overlap. The CIA's main concerns are terrorism, weapons of mass destruction, knowing what dangers or political upheavals are happening around the world, this could be called spying, and more recently, cyber intelligence. It was created on July 26, 1947, when Harry S. Truman signed off on the National Security Act. One of the main impetuses to create such an agency was the attack on Pearl Harbor. It has been involved in numerous conflicts, again too many to recount, but those include the 1953 Iranian coup d'etat, attempting to enact a military coup in Indonesia, trying to quash all kinds of pro-communist movements around the world, the Vietnam War, and controversially arming rebel forces when the USA believed it suited them. The CIA is an intelligence agency, but one that uses its brains and brawn to manipulate countries, governments, factions outside of governments in the interest of American national security. The number of people working for the CIA is not something the agency discloses, but its employees cover many areas.
So the CIA are just a lot more secretive then. So they're kind of like MI5 in the UK, I'm pretty sure, but just a lot bigger.
Areas of expertise. It's a very secret organization, but it does release millions of pages of its findings, much of that being historical, what we might call after the fact. Unlike the FBI, the CIA website states that it never monitors US citizens, although it also states it will if there is a reason to believe that an individual is involved in espionage or international terrorist activities. Many of its workers are in Washington, D.C., at its headquarters in Langley, Virginia, but agents are also stationed,
so they are literally all around the world,
often working undercover all around the world. Do these two agencies work together? Well, this is also a matter of controversy, and people have written books that delineate a war between the agencies. The CIA's website states that the relationship is strong, as threats to national security come in all sorts of guises, and so information can be shared.
Imagine they didn't have a relationship, they just hated each other, they're just competing for who's the better one. Like, surely you just want to work together. That would be so strange, but I wouldn't be surprised, because that's just humans in general, man. Fighting against each other when you're both working for the same thing, like, come on.
Shared. That information might relate to drug trafficking, money laundering, organized crime, and terrorism. Nonetheless, after 9/11, a congressional report stated that because intelligence was not shared responsibly, a possible counteraction did not happen. The New York Times wrote, they failed to counter the threat from Al-Qaeda, even though they had known for years that its leader, Osama bin Laden, was determined to attack the United States. So, yes and no, they work together, but it seems the relationship may be somewhat difficult at times. The CIA is focused on collecting intelligence and cannot make arrests. On the other hand, the FBI could technically investigate a CIA agent and make an arrest if that agent violated.
What? Oh, so the FBI is actually above them.
The CIA is focused on collecting together, but it seems the relationship may be somewhat difficult at times. The CIA is focused on collecting intelligence and cannot make arrests. On the other hand, the FBI could technically investigate a CIA agent and make an arrest if that agent violated federal law.
Oh, wow.
So, what do you have to do to get on one of these teams? To join the FBI, you must be between the age of 23 and 37. You need a 4-year degree, 3 years work experience, and have a driver's license. You might also have a qualification in one of the following categories: language, law, accounting, computer science/information technology, or it just says diversified. Your skills will then be prioritized, and this could come under lots of things from accounting to law enforcement to military expertise to finance. Few applicants are actually selected, and even after all that, you will have to pass a series of difficult tests. You'll have to be fairly fit and be able to sprint 300 meters, do a load of push-ups, and run for 1.5 miles. After that, you've got medical checks, background checks, and polygraphs to pass. Get through that, and you can become anything from a regular FBI officer to a sniper or a behavioral analyst. You will also need to spend 20 weeks training at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia. In interviews, former agents have said getting into the FBI is a long and arduous process. Not surprisingly, the CIA is pretty strict too on who it accepts, and to reiterate, not all workers are covert spies. You could be doing anything from specializing in math or economics. Most of its clandestine service employees
you have to be multilingual.
are aged between 26 and 35, like the FBI.
I guess because you're traveling around the world most likely, which makes a lot more sense.
FBI, background and medical checks, and polygraphs will be part of the interview process. Again, you'll need a university degree, know your international affairs, and if you have traveled the world and know a few languages, the CIA states that that is a bonus. The CIA says on its website that some of the skills needed are to be able to analyze data, have strong negotiation skills, discretion, diplomacy, have criminal investigative experience, and if your degree is in criminology, homeland security, or emergency management, that helps too. You'll have to undertake a 56-day criminal investigation training program and train train for a further 18 months at its headquarters. If you want to get a taste of what it's like working at the CIA, you can work as an intern at any time of the year. This, no doubt, should you prove yourself useful, will get your proverbial foot in the door. It generally lasts 90 days and you won't need to take the polygraph. Which would be the best place to work? That depends on a lot of things. One important matter when working for the CIA is secrecy if you are an agent. As its website points out in bold as important, friends, family, individuals, or organizations may be interested to learn that you are an applicant for or an employee of the CIA. It goes on to say that it is in your best interests not to tell anyone. It's very probable this was in bold because it alludes to what kind of life you are getting into. On the upside, for some people the life of a covert operator might be very exciting. You may know things that go against your conscience, you may see things that you never wanted to see, it just depends how deep you go. In one interview, a former CIA agent responded when asked if all the stress was worth it. I ask myself the same question every goddamn day. Was any of it worth it? The FBI won't involve the stress of remaining a kind of mystery to one's own friends and loved ones. You'll probably have much more chance of being killed on the job, as the FBI's Hall of Honor can show you. You are dealing with criminals, and that means sometimes seeing the aftermath of their destruction. In one interview, a former agent said that was not the worst part, but the fact that you could spend much of your life away from your family. You can at least tell them about what you do though. The former agent told Business Insider, "There's only a very small amount of information that an FBI agent would not be able to share with someone. We can usually talk about what we are working on or have worked on in the past." As for wages, there are many scales when working for the FBI. A new agent, according to one salary website, receives about $47,000, but a senior agent might earn more than $130,000 a year. A CIA website puts wages for special investigators anywhere from $74,000 to $137,000. Again, it really depends on what capacity you work for these agencies. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our new YouTube channel.
A new YouTube channel. I just want to see who funds the CIA, and I'm guessing it's just taxpayers, right? But I don't actually know. Even the simple total of CIA expenditures estimated now at $750 million is kept from the public. I guess it is. It doesn't really say, but that's what I assume. FBI, your son died serving his country. CIA, your son never existed. We're always here watching your search history. FBI, open up. CIA, already inside. FBI, arrest dangerous criminals. CIA, most dangerous criminals. FBI, peace or death. CIA, peace was never an option. These comments are wild. The FBI arrests you, the CIA makes you disappear. Me wants to be an FBI agent. Also me, I'm not in America. The CIA scares me way more. I really don't know anything. Yeah, I mean they're a lot more secretive, but it's kind of crazy how they're like a lot more secretive with what they do, but then they can be arrested by FBI agents. So I guess the FBI is a little bit above. Well, I mean, I guess CIA. I guess it isn't. It's just because people in the CIA just can't arrest. That's not what their job is about. So I mean, would you say the FBI is a little bit above the CIA in terms, just because they have the ability to arrest, or is it still a level playing field? Because the likeliness of that happening is obviously very low, and if you're doing something wrong anyway, I guess you're going to get arrested in the FBI too. But yeah, this is interesting. There's definitely differed from the differences between both. Like, it showed me the differences between both. Differed between the differences. I mean, my prejudgment was the CIA sort of are around the world, and they're sort of, I think I said they're like secret agents, so I was kind of right with that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction. More on the way, more infographic show reactions on the way. Just suggest in the comments. And yeah, until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.